Hey guys, welcome back. This is part 14 of the tutorial on Python, stock screening, value investing, all that good stuff. Anyway, so let's get into it. So let's take a look at some of the more like sort of the more nitty ratios that we need to look at. Like for example, like these earnings per share, right? Earnings per share, by definition, let me show you, earnings per share formula. Right, it's a little bit unintuitive. Okay, let me show you this one. So earnings per share is, just like what it says, right? How much did you earn based on like how many shares you have, right? So the definition is net income divided by preferred dividends. So basically dividends, how much you paid, divided by number of shares outstanding, right? So if you, whatever you bring in, if you pay out dividends, right? So basically that's profit. You paid out profit to people that you're supposed to share profit with, divided by how many shares are outstanding. It means how many shares of the company are there. Now here's where, remember I told you in the previous episode why EPS sometimes varies from different people to people, because their definition of net income really, like, it changes. It could be net income. Some people use EBIT, earnings before interest and taxes. Some people use EBITDA, EBITDA, as like earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. So different people just use different. I mean, I'm not sure if they're supposed to, but it just seems like people just kind of like choose whichever they feel like. I don't know. So I use Yahoo Finance because I'm assuming that they use consistent formula, like meaning that when they calculate EPS, it's the same, numerator, the thing on top. It's the same formula, net income minus dividends, right? I'm assuming that's what they use. I hope, I hope it's like, they use, they use net income for one stock and then use like EBITDA for another one, because that would make the comparisons all kind of screwy, right? Because you're basically endorsing some stocks to be calculated a higher and lower, right? Like, I hope Yahoo Finance not doing that. I don't think they are, but I could be wrong. So if you know the answer, put it in the comments below. Like, for example, like if you don't put, if the numerator gets higher, EPS is higher, right? And like a Microsoft's competitor, they use a different formula, and the numerator becomes smaller, then you're basically endorsing Microsoft stock, right? So I hope that's not the case. But anyway, let me kind of get into the nitty gritty. All right, so let's calculate our EPS, okay? So here's the thing. So MSFT.info, right? It has forward PE, I believe, or something. EPS. Forward EPS, yes. Forward EPS. Okay. For some reason, the Windows stupid notebook behaves nothing like Linux one. Okay, so the forward EPS I already calculated for you, right? It's 10.51, and trailing, I think, yes, trailing is 8.839. So let's take a look. Forward is 36. Okay. Forward EPS. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. EPS, earnings per share. What? That's weird. Where'd it go? Oh, that's odd. Oh, sorry. Is it? Sorry, it's not here. Why am I looking here? I think it should be here. EPS. Yeah. So 8. That's weird. Why would it? Am I going crazy? It should be the statistics thing. Am I looking at the right thing? Sorry. It should be here. Earnings per share. EPS. 8.94. Okay, I don't know. Call me crazy, but for some reason I think this should be here on the statistics page. But I don't know where it's getting the data from. If somebody knows the answer, put in the comments. I'm going crazy. Anyway, let's try to calculate our own EPS, right? So the definition of markdown is, let's say, calculate our own EPS, okay? So let's try that. So the definition of EPS is EPS equals net income minus dividend divided by shares outstanding. Okay, so first we know the shares outstanding is, you get it from the, so you get it from shares that are outstanding, right? So let's print this number out. It's this giant number. I don't know, what is that, like, 7 billion shares. Okay, so let's calculate. Remember, we're gonna use I'll show you this. So let's use the net income. Okay, let's use a net income. Net income equals, it should be income, right? Make sure we have the right one there, right? That's our net income. Okay, now, but remember, it's 2021, so we don't want that. We don't want the whole thing. We want just the latest one. So the way we're gonna get that is just saying net income minus 1, bracket minus 1. That means get the last one. Okay, so the last one, sorry, there should be 1. Sorry, get the most recent. It should be this, but this pandas data frame, usually the old data is on top, but for some reason they reversed it. I don't know why. Okay, that explains a whole lot of stuff. I was prepping this stuff and then the numbers were matching. I thought it was going crazy. I just didn't realize this is in complete reverse order. Usually older dates on top. So net income, so I don't get confused. Income 2021 equals that. Okay, make sure that we have that. Yeah, okay, now that's the right number. Okay, now everything makes sense now. Okay. Now, okay, dividends. How are we going to get dividends? Well, remember this formula, right? We have to get dividend now. Dividend, we're going to get by doing dividend 2021. Well, actually, let me show you. MSFT.dividends is a time series, right? See, now this time series, you know what I mean? You see 2003 is up here and 2021 is down here. I don't know, that's like, I should probably report this to White Finance. Anyway, but we can't use dividends for everything. We have to use the dividends for this year, 2021. So how do we get the dividend from these, the last 3, right? And you don't want to just say get the last 3 columns, because that's kind of a bad way to do programming, right? So the way you want to do it is a little bit tricky. So I'm gonna show you how it's done. So we want to do a filter. We want to do a filter that says, please give us rows where the dates match like a certain date. Okay, so we know that we want to start from these 2 dates, right? Start date and date, right? Why do I have June 30th? Yeah, it should be 12/31. Well, it's the future, yes. Give us a date from the future, but I'm just gonna put it there. So Microsoft.dividends. Let me explain what. Let me just write the code and then I'll explain later. Okay. So the first line is we're gonna convert the dividends to a data frame. Okay. And we're gonna add a field called. So if you look at this data frame, right, it's the same, but it's now, instead of a series, this is a series. This is a series, but this is a data frame. Okay. I'll explain why I'm doing this. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a column called date2 by using the dates. So if you look at, if you do that, and if you look at the data frame, I'm just adding a column date2. Okay, it's basically the same as the date column. Okay, and the way we're gonna do this is by doing a mask. So if you guys know what a mask is, it's basically like doing a filter on pandas data frame. Okay, so let me explain the syntax. Okay, this means go to this data frame that we created, right? Look at the column date2, and if it's greater than the start date, and if this thing is less than the start date, right? That's the filter that I want. Okay, so this is called a mask, and the way you get the data So where you get the dividends from those two dates is by taking that and then applying that loc. All right. So let me show you. So let me just show you what this looks like. So now you see it got all the dividends from 2021, right? But we want the dividends, right? So we want dividends, but I don't want that series. I want some. Okay, and there you go. That's the dividends that they paid out in 2021. Okay, so div 2021. Okay, so now with that we have that. Now going back to the formula, right here, net income minus dividend divided by shares outstanding. Now we just have to put that together. Okay, let's put that together. Where is it? Where's that formula? Here we go. Now what I'm gonna do is, okay, so we have dividends. We have div 21 and net income 2021. I am going crazy. Like, I have so many tabs open, it's like driving me crazy. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to compose myself. Okay, all right. So now we're gonna actually apply a formula. So what we're gonna do is this formula right here, net income. Remember the first one, right? Did I have income 2021? Yes, I have net income 2021. So I don't confuse you, I'm just gonna do this. Okay. Now press enter and voila, 8.61 blah blah blah, right? If I go back, remember EPS is 8.894. Right? You see what I mean by this discrepancy is that it depends on what you use. Okay, so suppose instead of net income I use EBITDA. Okay, let's use EBIT. If I just use EBIT, now it's 9.3. Now you see what I mean? Hold on, can I go back? Okay, if I do this, it's that. If I use EBIT, it's that, right? So this is what I mean. It depends on like your definition of what is net income, right? So I hopefully there's somebody who does this like as a job. Like if you can put in the comments, what is the correct way, and if people put it differently, like is that kosher? And number 3 is Yahoo Finance consistent? I mean, do people do this consistently? That's one thing that I haven't like really delved into because I do like everything quick and dirty. So anyway, so now you get the idea of how to calculate these things, right? Like everything that you see in the charts, like all this is just divide, subtract, just that's it. Like nothing crazy, right? You might have to do like these filters and stuff. You might have to like do conversion to data frames and stuff. It's not that hard. Now, let me show you a quick one. Actually, how long is this video getting? This video is getting pretty long. So you know what? I will stop here because I don't want this to be too long. The next one is going to be about comparisons. If you found this value, make sure to thumb up. Okay, I really, really appreciate it. And if you have questions, put it in the comments because right now the direction of this series, I have a feeling I'm just gonna kind of wait till the feedback comes to me. If not, I'm gonna start talking about investing in like non sort of programming stuff. I mean, investing in general, but not necessarily doing Python. Okay. So anyway, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, make sure to leave it in the comments and thumb up and subscribe. And everybody says that. Maybe I shouldn't say it. Anyway, I'll see you next one.